Okay, so this is a walkthrough of my Sinatra project from Flatiron School. We had to build a project using Sinatra, ActiveRecord, Ruby, HTML, CSS, but mostly focusing on ActiveRecord and using forms and databases. So, quick walk through the code. We've got different controllers for each aspect of the web app. So this controls the overall web app. This controls individual recipes. I built a way to organize recipes. This controls individual sessions, the way you log in and log out. And this controls the individual users being able to register and stuff like that. So then each section has their own set of ERB files with a large amount of HTML in there. Right. So let's look at, we're gonna view it via shotgun. So let's get that running. Grab the browser and bring it over here. Yeah. There's the page. So I made it look like the LCARS system from Star Trek. That was the goal. So anybody familiar with Star Trek will recognize the basic style of it and how it looks. So this is where a user would start. So it tells you to register and to log in. So you have to register first. So there's the registration. I couldn't get this text to look right. Might have to go back and look at that, but so we can make up any name we want. We'll say Will Riker, right? Let's say he wants to set up his food replicator database. And so you can use your password. And so you're here. There's nothing here because he doesn't have anything in his food replicator. So let's make him something. Alright, so now we can add a recipe. So for fun, let's go find a recipe from Star Trek. Let's see. Star Trek recipes. Let's try this one. BuzzFeed. This should be fun. Here we go. Let's just do this first one. Let's do Plomix soup. Let's pretend William Riker likes Plomix soup. Alright, so for the name, Plomix soup. Right, and so we need ingredients. So look, here's the ingredients that we're going to need. Okay, and let's go ahead and once you have follow these instructions. All right, let's go here. There we go. I'm gonna leave that second one for. Let's do this. Let's do this. Get rid of that. And then for notes, we're gonna put this. All right. Boom. Plomix soup. It's like at this part where it moves, kind of like how in the LCARS system of Star Trek, something is always like moving. So everything's on there. The formatting was an interesting issue. If you've ever used Sinatra or databases, When you have a form, it injects the form into your database, and when you recall that information, so to display it, it doesn't carry over formatting. It doesn't carry over blank spaces and new line characters and all that stuff. So you have to go in and like figure that out, right, for it to display. So use some regex to add in what you need. So I'll go ahead and show you the solution I came up with this one real quick. So that is in here. And so to display that, what I came up with is, so new line characters, when you hit enter, is a new line character. And it's carried over, and the new line characters are in your database, but when you try to pull that out by calling the database and the parts of it, the HTML doesn't recognize what that new line character is. It doesn't know. So it all just becomes one long carry-on paragraph. So using regex and gsub, I replaced every instance of a new line character with, so that way as HTML reads it as a new line and puts it there. So that was an interesting little solution. Now we've got a recipe. So let's go to our recipes. See, there it is, Plomex soup. And you can click on it. Voila. Now you can edit your Plomex soup. Let's say Riker likes Plomex soup, or he thought he did, but then he realizes that he only likes it with a lot of extra salt in it, right? So let's go over here, and he's going to put a note, use extra salt. Okay. And there you go. Use extra salt. Let's edit. Now let's say Riker gets sent to the Enterprise, and for some reason the replicator just can't get this right. It doesn't taste very good. So he doesn't like it anymore. He's like, this is gross. I don't want it anymore. Let's get rid of that. So we can delete it. Boom, and it's gone. Okay. So we go into here too. One of the things that we had to do was add in some error messages if you do something wrong. So if you get here and you thought you were typing in your recipe and you weren't, and you try to submit, you'll get your little error message. So another feature I want to show is, let's go right. Let's plug my soup. Let's bring this back up. Let's say he decides he wants to add the Rokig blood pie. So let's just add that in there real quick. Right. Thank you, BuzzFeed, for all of this stuff. Okay. Let's grab this. Let's throw that in there. And let's get some directions. Here we go. Directions. And we'll just move this part to the notes. Okay. Alright, so now he's got the Rokig blood pie. Right, so let's log him out. Let's log out real right here. And let's register someone else. Let's say Beverly Crusher is going to set up her stuff too. Alright, and if I didn't show you this before, but they keeps their username at the top of the screen as they go. Alright, so you notice that Bev has nothing in her recipes. So the recipe that Riker created, Beverly Crusher does not have access to. So everybody has their own individual recipes, so they will have to have their own, and they won't be able to access anyone else's and mess with it or delete it or anything. Right, so we can log out. The login function also works. Let's log in Beverly Crusher. Oops. So I want you to take note of how short this password is. That's important here in just a minute. And there she is. Okay, so like I said, we had to add in error messages if something went wrong. So another error message I decided to do, let's say that somebody comes here at the front page and they happen to know that there's a recipes page, and they're wondering if what happens. I'm just going to bypass logging in. I don't want to log in. I don't want to register. I just want to look at recipes. So this is what happens if they go to that recipes page. It won't let them unless they're logged in. Right, so this is the exact same page, so I'm going to copy that, right? Recipes, we're going to log in. We'll log in Beverly Crusher again. Oh, wait, hang on. My router's doing a weird thing here. Just go back here. There we go. Beverly Crusher. Alright. Okay, so see, same website. So if you're logged in, it knows you're logged in and doesn't give you that alert system. And so I'm going to go ahead and live code something here for everybody real quick. So we had an issue just because I just saw it. It's the first time I've seen it. So if you're new to coding, this is something you're going to run into. You're going to run into where you find out that you have an error because of maybe just a feature you didn't test yet and it's not working out. So when I click login here, it tells me that Sinatra doesn't know what's going on. The reason is, so if you look here at the bottom of the screen, localhost 9393/session/login, right? That's wrong. It shouldn't be that way. It should be, see if I go into this page, it should just be /login. So let's just fix that real quick. Let's go back here, we'll leave that up. Let's go back here. Let's go to, it's on my welcome page. Let's go down. What's this? Yeah. Alright, so it's one of these buttons. It's the login button here. /session/login. Let's get rid of that. Alright, we'll go back to our page. Let's refresh so it gets the new code. And see, it changes. It doesn't have that sessions folder. And there you go, it works. Alright. So that's my Sinatra project. Let me know below if you have any comments. I'm still new and still learning, so if you have any tips or tricks to make this work even better, or you want to, especially if you know how to get this online. Like I went to Heroku in order to try and put this out there so that people could actually use it if they wanted to. I know it's just a little niche thing, but because I use SQLite as the database, Heroku won't use it. So if you have tips and tricks for that, let me know down below. Thank you.